Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's Q&A. Mike, I'll be hosting, and got a couple folks with me for support. I have posted in the chat instructions on how to raise your hand, which is the system we use to queue up questions. So I'll just read that out in case anyone didn't see it. To ask a question, you want to click on the button along the bottom of the screen underneath the video that's labeled reactions, and then you'll see another button in there called raise hand. Just click that, and we'll see that your hand's raised, and we'll call on you. And by the way, everyone, this week's theme, in case you missed it, is invoices, statements, credits, and debits. So you're not restricted to asking questions on that topic, but that's the focus we have in mind for this week. Looks like we've got one from Christy.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
So I notice sometimes when we're posting payments on AR accounts that sometimes the hotel will pick and choose the invoices they're paying for whatever reason. And then sometimes you can choose the individual invoices, and sometimes you go to click on an invoice and it has an X and it won't let you apply it to it. Why is that? I have to apply it as a credit and then go back to the account a second time to apply the credit to the invoice. So what's going on with that?
Okay, so that's because of the way Smart's payment system works, and it relates to agents. So in Smart, you can only make a payment to one agent at a time. Occasionally, for various reasons, an account might have unpaid orders on it that have more than one agent, not more than one per order, but among those orders, there's more than one agent included. And when that happens, if you want to pay off that group of orders, you're correct. You do need to pay whatever agent you want to start with first. Usually Smart will auto select one. I think it's just the first one that appears in the list. So you pay that one, and you're correct that especially if you're using a check, you want to apply the full payment to the first set of orders so that you have the check number and the amount of the check match in your records and in your reports, so that if you ever have to research that check, you can find the payment easily in your Smart reports. But that'll create credits on the account for the amount of the check that was not used to apply to the first agent. So then you go back in, just like you described, and you make a second payment using those credits to apply to the second agent. And if there's a third, you do the same thing for that one, and so on. Hopefully there's only two in most cases.
Well, yeah, I mean, how would like a hotel account have different orders with different agents?
Yeah, so usually when I see that happen with a hotel in particular, it's because perhaps the guest account is on a different route than the main account. So maybe you're delivering uniforms on one route, you're delivering and picking up guest work on a different route. And so the guest work has a different agent from the uniform work. That's the most common reason I've seen, but there are a few other reasons that can happen.
We only have one hotel agent for all the hotels.
Okay.
I mean, they have different sub accounts, a guest sub account and then the employee sub account, but they both go to a master billing account that's the same. Yeah, it's just I couldn't find a rhyme or reason as to why it does that sometimes.
Gotcha. Yeah,
But,
no. So, and
okay.
that's totally a fair question. And as far as your specific situation, if you wanted to contact support, we could actually look at that particular hotel, figure out what the other agent is and why that's happening, and help you solve that. But it's not something I can really advise you on generally here. I'd have to see it.
Okay, but at least I understand the logic so that I can look check that out and see if that's what's going on. And if I not what it is, then I can contact support and let them know about it.
Sure. Yeah, please do.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Looks like I think Will was next here.
Hey, how's it going? I have a question. I think I know the answer to this, but currently on a bill statement, you can't do a discount or a service charge across a statement, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. When is that going to change? Has that been talked about?
So it's certainly something that a number of clients have requested over the years I've been with Smart. I think it's a feature that makes sense. I not aware of it being on a current roadmap, but it's certainly something I can dig out and bring up again in our next dev meeting and see if it's the right time to do it.
Yeah, no, if you could, because at the end of the day, when you have, let's say you're on a 30-day net and they aren't paying you, like we have to have some leverage, and I don't want to go in on an invoice level and add it at an invoice level across the board. And the same thing is if we have accounts that we give a discount to, or like something changes or something happens to that account, we have to go into each ticket to adjust it versus being able to apply it across all through a statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now there is kind of a workaround for that scenario. It's not ideal in all situations, and some hotels may not like the way it looks. But you could actually do a little math and give them credits in the amount that they should have been discounted. And then for the next billing cycle, you want to make sure you get the proper discounts in place on the proper accounts. But there is potentially a way you can at least correct it for a single month at a time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see. I think Kathy.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how we doing?
My question is, from time to time, orders will get delivered and the credit card on file is not, it's been declined, or a CX may have forgot to even put it in at all. And normally our route manager will go through the list for the day and make sure, but I didn't know if when the driver scanned the order that something pops up to alert them to say, hey, whoa, don't deliver this.
Yeah, so I believe you see it in the load list as well as the to-do list in the app. There's an indicator. It's just the phrase "not paid." You'll see this phrase appear on any order that is not paid, including declines.
You screen
And
share that for me so I can kind of see what you're talking about?
yeah, let me see if I can find one real quick.
Think I got you. You see
Hey,
it?
I think Gina's got us.
Okay. So
I
when they
can't.
scan the item to put on their truck, that picture will come up?
It's here really all the time. So it's on the load list. It will be on the to-do list. It will be on their profile when you actually click on them to deliver the items or pick up new stuff. This is the old app, but actually I was going to give you a little teaser of what it's going to look like in the new app, or close to. And I think now in the new app, it's actually going to give you a reason why it's not paid. So this one's due to just not having a card on file.
Okay. If the credit card is active, then when they go to scan that to put it on the truck, not paid will not show up, correct?
Correct. It will look like nothing.
Okay. And when is that new app with that new feature expected to come out?
Hopefully sometime in Q2, but just a reminder, the only new addition is the reason why it's not paid.
Mhm.
Currently in our current app, you can still see that it's not paid. There's
Right.
just no reason right there.
I think reason is a huge addition though, so thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure.
And just to add to that, Kathy, that not paid function is an actual setting that needs to be turned on. So if it's not turned on, you will not see that.
That could explain why I didn't know about that.
I think it's
And
typically default on, but your company has been with us for so long that it possibly could be off.
right. So is there a quick 4 steps that you can give me to turn it on in case it's not, or do you want me to send in a support ticket?
I'll write down a little note. I got your back.
Okay, thank you, Gina.
Okay, who's next? Bill. Oh, Bill.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Hey, been quite a while. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. My
I don't think I've heard
here.
from you in a couple of years.
Yeah, well, first time here. It's been I guess when you signed me up, it's probably last time I talked to you or something like that.
Could be.
I've been happy with most things. There's a few things that are an issue, but one thing I have is a customer who's a credit card payment customer who wants a monthly statement. Do I have to do that manually, or can I do that automatically?
No, so if they're on auto pay, and they have the card on file. Then there's actually a setting under payment settings on their account. It's labeled send statement after auto pay, and it does exactly
Okay.
that. Once auto pay runs on the account, it generates a statement to just confirm that they don't have a balance and sends it on to them.
Okay, so they're going to get that with that every charge then. Not like
Let's say one more
monthly.
time.
They're going to get that with every charge. They're not going to get a monthly balance, not monthly statement.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Every time it runs.
I'll try that with her and see how she likes it.
Okay.
I had a couple
Yeah, sounds
other
good.
odd things with. I don't know if you want to get into this. I've been having people text yes, and they're not getting on the manifest. And
Okay.
I have a few people like that. And like I had someone today. Now she said yes, space, please fix pocket. Now, I've been
Ah.
trying to get them to say just yes and then say something later. But is there a way to get that so that if they just say yes, it automatically puts them on the manifest? I'd rather have them on the manifest and nothing be there, and then not be on the manifest. Now I do
Mhm.
check the root messages every morning before I go, so I placed her on that. But it would be nice if she
Sure.
was automatically on it anyway.
Well, okay. So just to explain what's going on there, there is, for various reasons, there is a character limit on messages, reply messages from customers that contain a yes. So if they go over that character limit, basically if they add too many other words, letters, whatever, then Smart doesn't recognize it as a yes reply anymore.
I can
And
understand
so,
why.
and you kind of inferred that that's what's going on. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't know how much flexibility we have with extending that character limit, but it may be a solution to modify the messaging in such a way that it just clarifies, please reply yes and only yes, or something like that. However, if you just have one or two customers for whom this is a problem, it might make sense to just make them regulars. If you make them a route regular, then they don't have to reply yes, they are automatically scheduled. And so the problem goes away for them. We still have something we need to look at just to make sure the system's working as well as it can, but that can at least take care of that customer for you.
Okay. And I have one customer whose credit card will not work. I know she says she checked her side, it's working. Is there something I can do on my side to check whether it's something to do with us?
Well, are you getting any particular kind of message when you try to run it,
I
or
got
is there a card
the
status
first
shown on
time
their
I
account?
got it, I got this transaction cannot be done with this purchase. And then after that, it just times out every time it does it.
Okay. I think that one's worth a support ticket. That's
Okay.
there's a few different things that might be going on there, and it's I
Because
couldn't
I've
really
never had
parse
a
it out here.
I never had an issue with her before.
Mhm.
And I would like to thank you with one thing I've gotten from you that I really like. I had an issue when I switched to will calls that I couldn't. The problem was I used to go into the manifest and see what wasn't done, and what was done. Well, with will calls, it wouldn't do that. So I had you make me up a file called order status for selected routes. Phenomenal port.
Great.
Phenomenal. Because it says not done processing. I click on it, I find it, I can find out what the issue is. I mean, I don't know if you can use it with your other customers or not, but it's great because I was having an issue. This is where if an order wasn't done, customer would not get a text message saying we're coming by tomorrow,
Mhm.
or would say we have and at all because the order wasn't done. Like half their order might be like I have a customer who had a leather piece. I don't put leather pieces on anymore because it takes a couple of weeks for my guy to get back. Because next
Mhm.
week it'll say his order's not done, even though it's not attached to the same ticket. Because that isn't done, it will not send a message out saying we're coming by next day because the order's not done. So that was an issue.
Right.
But so now I can go through the process, figure that out, and detach it. Like I said, I write up a paper ticket, my own paper ticket for a leather
Mhm.
piece now, and don't put it on the system until I get it back from my leather cleaner.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So if you're interested, we may be able to help you come up with a workflow that'll allow you to track those things when they're not in your inventory, but avoid that issue
Well,
you're having with the orders overall.
that's what the program, the report you sent me for does. Lets me
Oh,
track
okay,
where they
great.
are. And I'm saying it's phenomenal. I like that
Yeah,
a lot. I mean, I do that every
good.
time. the day before, and it makes me find out a lot of times what it is there's 4 orders four tickets on an order, and the one ticket's behind another ticket. You don't see it. So it's very
Mm.
easy to click on that, go to that order and fix it. And it really works out well. I really like that report.
Good. I'm really glad to hear that. Glad we could help you with that.
That's me. Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Christy. All right. What you got?
I wanted to check on something that I think maybe it was a couple months ago that they were going to have to work on and try to figure out how to solve the problem. And I just wanted to see
Okay.
if anyone had any updates on it. So when you have a statement customer who gets a statement and the settings are to send invoices, like attached invoices to the statement every month, the
Mhm.
invoices that come with the statement look different than regular invoices, and it lists sales tax twice, even though it's not added in. And it's a problem because, people they see orders, sales tax, total due, and then they see another line of sales tax, and they're adding the sales tax in again, thinking that they to add those two together and making a different total. It's just because it looks weird, So I have a lot of
Mhm.
customers with credits on their account because they're paying sales tax twice. And I was told a couple months ago that, they were going to have to work and see how they could fix that. Anybody know anything about that yet?
Gotcha. So I am not specifically familiar with that exact issue, but I can certainly look into it. You don't have a recent ticket open with us about it right now, do you?
Oh, it happened. Yeah, I thought it was open because the last two
Oh,
times
okay.
that I've, gone through, ticketing about it and phone calls, they were like, it took a while for them to understand what I was saying. And then when they finally went, oh, I see what you're saying, they said, oh, we'll have to get back with you on how that, I guess it's probably a programming thing that has with how the invoices are printed when they go with
Yeah.
statements. But I just haven't heard anything about it. But like I said, I have a lot of commercial customers that just don't pay very close attention, and they're adding sales tax because it's listed on there twice. It's listed before the total and it's listed after the total, and they're adding it in again and paying more money, which I
Okay.
can't complain about. But it doesn't make for zero balancing accounts.
Okay. And just so when I look for this, I just want to make sure I understand it's related to the settings show invoices on statements, right?
Yes,
Or include
and it's
invoices on statements. Yeah.
yeah, it is. It is every account. It's not like any specific kind of account or whatever. It's every
Okay.
single statement account that has that check. The invoices look that way, and
Okay.
I just
All
need
right. Yeah.
that second sales tax line to go away.
Gotcha. Yeah. So as I said, yeah, I'm not specifically familiar with that one, but I'll look into that and
Okay,
I will either find your ticket or I'll just reach out to you directly and we'll get you an
all
update and
right,
see what's going on.
appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. And I think Enrique is next in the queue there.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. What can we do for
Um,
you?
I have a lot of questions, but they're essentially all marketing questions. Kind of. I know that Smart has a multiple campaigns of I think marketing campaign, Smart Social, and Smart Reviews.
Hmm.
We don't. So we're just a really really small dry cleaners, right? We don't have an agency that we have ever partnered up with. It's just been kind of organically reaching out to our customers.
Sure.
Essentially what I'm asking is because I remember when Smart launched kind of like their marketing program, I was already sending out messages to our customers to basically ask for Google reviews. Like I was doing that, right? And then
Hmm.
I haven't really been doing it. But is there a way, because I do it really manually, right? I really go down to the bottom of the barrel of like, I look at the customers are in orange that let's say they signed up in 2022 and I want to see how many times they stop by here, even if it's a few interactions, even if it's 3 times, but the most recent has been 3 months ago, right? and we haven't sent any marketing whatsoever. I do it whether I'm like, okay, I'm going to send this person a asking for a Google review very organically, like we make it up and we send it to them. And then the other one is I will give a 10% discount for their next order, but on that I will push them to our Instagram page and our Facebook page. I'm doing that like one by one. Is there any way that I can kind of click on multiple customers all at once that fit that category that I'm looking for? That I'm like, okay, this customer has stopped by just 3 times, 4 times, and then go from there rather than doing manually, and also still being in control of who I am sending out messages to, because I wouldn't want to send out messages to customers that have been like a one-time thing, like because I timed it. I'm like, this customer has been here 8 times and they signed up in 2022 or 2023, and like it makes sense to send them this type of message compared to
Gotcha. So
sense.
overall,
It's a lot more questions. I know it's kind of a lot to unpack.
I'll go
just
for it.
kind of get at it.
I'm sorry, did you say you had another question you were going to ask too?
No. I know that
I
was
misheard you. Okay. So what you're describing is essentially what smart marketing can do. The specific parameters you're using to target customers, I can't say for sure that we can reproduce them, but we can probably at least get pretty close. We have there's lots of smart marketing works based on KPIs. So you can create a KPI to build a list of customers, and you can also optionally create another one that you would pair with the first one that defines who to exclude. So between using those 2 reports and the variety of different filters we have in the KPIs, you can target customers in a pretty granular fashion. So if you're not terribly familiar with smart marketing services, I would suggest setting up maybe a demo.
Yeah,
and see if we can help you with that.
I have not just doing it kind of, raw doing it, but I still see some results just doing it on our own. But I would like to kind of have all those things together, like Instagram, LinkedIn, Nextdoor, all of them into one, and then, whether it's our content that we're making, putting that out there, as well as, because I've seen it. I'm like, to target a customer on Facebook, sometimes it'll be like $3, right? And then if I do it, I'm like, this customer will bring in over $100 order or $150 order, and I'm like, it is definitely worth it to get that lookalike of customers on Facebook and Instagram, run those ads there, as well as with our Google page. It's not that big, but it's just over 100 reviews, and again, it's been organically. It's just been reaching out to customers that way, where I'm like, this customer has, and I just spend time on the computer, and I'm like, again, I look at that thing, and then I'm like, it makes sense to send out this type of messages. And another question is, what do you think would be best for us? Because there's 3, right? There's the campaign ones, there's the review ones, there's the social one. The review, I kind of feel like I'm figuring that out. Like I kind of know, because I see the reviews, most of them tend to be positive. What would you suggest, kind of, if it for Steam and Press, a small brand?
I am not the guy to answer that question. And that's simply because I don't work in the marketing department. I work with support, and I do a lot of like data related stuff and kind of crazy configurations and things like that. So the marketing's a little bit outside my wheelhouse. As I mentioned, I think it sounds like it would really benefit you, at least to understand what we have on offer, to speak with a salesman or maybe set up a demo.
You use data, and that's that you use that word, and that's kind of it. Just getting more data and then running those kind of ads that are like, again, they target that right customer that we're looking for. And what should I reach out to? Should I reach out for the campaign ones? Should I do the review ones, or should I do the social ones? Because I know they're all 3 different services, correct?
Yeah, that's my understanding. My suggestion is, are you familiar with who your salesman is? Do you know who sold you Smart?
Give me 1 second. I am not familiar with that.
Enrique, this is Denise from marketing. Which company are you with?
I'm with Steam and Press. We're located in Seattle, Washington.
Demon Press. Okay.
And can I have just about 30 seconds? Can I get 30 seconds?
Mhm. Because
Okay.
to be quite honest, you're sort of touching on questions that have to do with every single one of our products.
Yes, yes.
So I do think it would be best for you to talk with sales, and then they'll probably invite one of our marketing people on the call just so that they can walk you through, get more into the nitty-gritty details and see exactly how we can help you best.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, back. All right, River, I believe, is next.
Yeah, I was just wondering if someone has reward credits that they earned from an order and then that order gets refunded, do the reward credits or the reward points towards a credit that they earned go away?
Actually, off the top of my head, I'm not entirely sure. Hang on a second. It's a good question. The consensus in the room is that we're pretty sure they do. I wish we had a firm answer for you. We can test that this afternoon and confirm for sure. Let me see. Would you mind, Terribly River, just submit a support ticket and drop my name. Just say, hey, Mike was going to check on a question about rewards or something like that. And I'll check that out and I'll get back to you today.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's see. I think Gina Hernandez.
Yes, thank you.
Hey. How are you?
So I'm good, thanks. So I'm
Good.
pretty new to Smart. I've been
Mhm.
only 1 month with it. So I have a lot of questions, but today, the only one that I would say it's concerning me, it's about how would you track the credit card deposits towards the revenue sales? Because what I see is that there's some customers that pay their portal, and then when I close the cashier, I see the payment. But then for the card deposits, I don't see the same day or the next day the deposit into the bank, but till the next day. So half of the payments I see them, and other half I don't. So it's probably the time where it cuts up, right? That's I'm assuming that. So
Right. Okay. So that's the split deposits that's how I think of them. It's essentially you have a day worth of revenue and part of it is deposited one day and part of it is deposited the next day. So it doesn't line up with one day's revenue is always deposited all together. So that can be a little trickier to track. And we actually have some features we've built into some of the reports that can help with that. So let me share my screen real quick. Okay, this is, I'm just going to use this instance for a demo real quick. So I'm on the revenue report under financials here in reports. I want to go down to the first table. So we skip the visual graph here. We come to the table. We look at the credit card column. If you click on the number, that is the total right here, it shows a list of your merchants. You only have one. So if I click on the total for the merchant, it then shows me how all the revenue that is currently in the report that I'm looking at got batched. So the report I'm looking at shows total revenue. I think it was for all of January of 58,314. And that total is represented here. It's the same number. And then it's broken up into the days that each portion of that revenue was deposited. If you're looking at a time frame where some of the revenue has not yet been deposited, then the first row will say missing instead of having a date. But then if you go back and look the next day, in most cases that will be updated and you'll have a batch date. And if it's not there the next day, give it one more day, but it'll appear.
okay.
Now I think you can see revenue from deposits and deposits from revenue. So I just showed how you can see the deposits from the revenue report. Real quick, I want to show you, just because this may help as well. If I'm in the deposits report here, I can actually click on any of these rows on a particular deposit date. So I clicked on the 20th, and it shows me the revenue that makes up that deposit. So if I add this number plus this number, that's the total, then I get this number. So that shows me per deposit, I can see where the revenue came from. And then on the revenue side, I can see how all my revenue got batched. So from those two perspectives, you should be able to reconcile everything. Does that make sense to you?
Okay, yeah, totally.
Okay.
Perfect. This is super helpful. Yeah, thank you.
Good, excellent. All right, let's see. I don't see any hands raised at the moment. River, are you back? You have another one?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
I was wondering, when there's a credit card and it's still green, it's not red, but it says next to it, card needs to be updated instead of declined or expired. What does that mean?
Okay, so that relates to a sort of a security feature or an authentication feature called an AVS check. I don't recall exactly what AVS stands for, but essentially it is a billing zip code check. It verifies the billing zip code, and if it finds a mismatch, then it puts the card in a special status in Smart called AVS check failed. And that status will, when the card's in that status, the customer will be sent a notification to remind them that they need to update their card information once per month, assuming the card is not updated during that time, up to 3 times. During this time period, the card will work as normal, but after the 3rd month, the card will no longer work on auto pay, but you can still charge it manually. So the card will not stop working entirely, but you won't be able to charge it automatically unless the customer updates that information.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. And by the way, to anyone who is concerned about that, we have recently updated the credit card statuses in our KPIs. So now you can make a customer KPI that actually includes the AVS check failed status as a separate status, whereas it used to be lumped in with invalid, I think. So now you can see it separately, so that's a little more helpful. All righty. So we're getting a little close to the end. We're in the back half. Just to let everyone know, for the last 5 minutes or so of this Q&A, we're going to put up a little survey just to kind of get some feedback and thoughts from the participants. So if you stick around that long, we'd love to have you participate in that. But we're still taking questions. Christy has her hand up.
Hey, no one else was raising their hand, so this is unrelated to statements, but
Yeah, no problem.
I forgot to ask it last week. You know, when you go to make a new order for a customer and you can do that quick detail at the top, how can you change what items are on there, or can you?
Oh, great question. Yes, you absolutely can. So let me, I just switched tabs thinking my screen was shared. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen again and I'll show you exactly how that works. Okay, so can you see my screen here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've opened up just a test account and I'm on the customer's settings tab. So we want to go to production settings and scroll down just a little bit and we will find quick detailing item types. Right here, you can select any items from your price list that you want and add them to the quick detailing menu. And then when you do, if you make any changes here, a save button will appear. So make sure you click save. It'll be right here below the box. And then once you make those changes, you probably need to refresh. So just hit Control R and then make a new order and you'll see your new options.
Okay, great. And I could do that globally and not just on.
Yeah,
yeah.
yes. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
was just going to mention that. Yeah. You
Yeah.
probably in most cases do want to do that globally rather than per customer. But
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. Easy
And
peasy. Thank you.
and just a quick note also about that function is that it will not self-alphabetize. So whatever order you want those items in, you need to put those items in that order like you want it. So if you want top shirt to be first, you need to put shirt. If you want pants to be second, you need to make that second. So just keep that in mind.
Oh, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Great question. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but while I was on that tab, let me pull that up again. This might be helpful for a few of you. I'm actually going to go to the system settings because that is where we should be making these changes. So also right here, we have new order tabs. I'm just pointing this out because you may appreciate this. So we can choose between dry cleaning, wash and fold, import order, retail order, quick detailing, and this custom is a special thing we set up that is, I don't believe it's functional for most clients. But yeah, so if you are missing any of the order types that you would like to have access to, for example, if you don't see an option for quick detailing, or if you have some retail items in your price list, you don't see the retail tab, this is where you can add them. And just like with the other one, if you make a change, a save button will appear. So if I were to remove this, it'll ask me to save. I'm not going to save. But yeah, that's how you can do that. So if you don't have quick detailing in your system, that's how you can add it.
Mike, can you show them? Oh, you just closed.
Oh, what is it?
How to make one of those the default tab, because usually the cleaning is the default tab. So if someone were to change everything to quick detailing, that default would look like.
Yeah, that's actually right down here. So it's just a few settings below the new order tabs, which is the one we were just talking about. So we come down here and we see default detailing tab, and this is what will determine that. The dry cleaning, which is your regular cleaning order where you detail specific items, and then they go into processing and so forth. That's the default automatically. So if you have nothing selected, you'll start on cleaning. Good suggestion, Gina. All right. Let's see. Any other questions for anyone? Zach.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. How are you today, Mike?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good.
I was trying to create, we're talking about, or the theme of this was like invoices, right? Also,
Mhm.
I was trying to create an invoice for a bunch of orders for one customer. Is there a way to show on the statement the discount applied to it? Or because it's summing up all like the subtotals. It's essentially just it's applying the discount and it's just showing that total. Is there a way
Mhm.
to see um, the normal total and then the discounted amounts on
Oh,
statement?
so I see. So you want to see the before discount amount. So the full price and then the discount and then the net price,
Yeah,
essentially,
I, I
right?
I don't know if that was possible. I was just curious.
Yeah, so not exactly in the itemized list. However, there is a feature called Summarize by Billing Code, and it's designed primarily to be used for hotels that have different departments, and you create sort of inert promotions that are named after those departments, and then they help when you use the setting, it'll actually group orders per promotion, so per department on the statement or invoice. However, you can also use it for what you're looking for in a way because it also adds a summary section near the top of the statement that lists per discount um, what the initial total was, what the discounted amount is. Now it's aggregated, it's all totaled up. It's not per order. And then the final price. Um, and it will, just one thing to know about that is each promotion has a field below the name field called billing code. And the billing code is usually empty, but if you want to use this, then in the summary section, all the discounts are going to be lumped under miscellaneous. they won't have their name there. But if you copy the name of the promotion into the billing code field and save the promotion, then on the statement, it will appear under its name rather than under miscellaneous.
Okay, thank you for the information. It sounds like I can get part of the way there. Is there, I guess, should I submit a ticket to get like someone to like walk me through this or help me do it?
Sure, yeah, if you like. I can
Oh,
demonstrate a little
I,
bit of what I was talking about there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I apologize. I didn't mean to speak over you. Go ahead.
No, oh, I was just going to say, I can demonstrate right now a little bit of what I was talking about.
Sure. That'd be
Let's
great
see.
too.
Yeah. It may, I don't know that it's worth the time to set up a statement on a test account, but on the promotions, I will point out, so let's say on this 10% off, if I were to copy the name into the billing code field right here, then that is this, whatever is in this field is how this promotion will be described in the billing summary section, or the discount summary section. Let me see if there are any orders on this test account. There aren't, of course. Maybe I can find a good example customer real quick. I may not be able to find a good example promptly here, but what I will do at least here is I'll show you on the test account.
I followed the first part. If you just want to show me how to set it up on the individual account, then I can probably do the second part also.
Right. Okay. So in invoice settings, right here, we're looking for summarized by billing code, which is pretty close to the bottom. Yep, right here. So when you turn this on, that adds a discount summary section just below the main section of the statement. And as I said, it'll group everything by billing code, all the promotions. So if there's more than one discount that's included on the statement, it'll list them separately as long as they have different billing codes on the promotion, which is what I showed a moment ago. Otherwise, if they don't have billing codes, they'll just all be lumped together under miscellaneous, but you'll still see that total before discount price, the amount discounted, and then the net price after the discount. It
Okay.
just, as I said, it won't be per order. It's just for the whole amount.
No, that's still better than,
Yeah.
that's still better. That's definitely an improvement. So
Good deal.
Thank you for
Good
that.
deal. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome.
And that's it. That's it for me. Thank you,
Okay.
Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome, Zach. Thank you. Oh, Kathy's got something.
So, Mike, going back to River's question about those credit cards where the credit card zip code and the billing zip code in the smart system don't match up, and after 3 months, I'm thinking that can be frustrating for a customer because they want to use that credit card, and because our system doesn't allow for different or allows for security for those two different zip codes. Is there a way around it is not to force the customer to put a different credit card on file to match?
Let
Because we're basically
me
saying to
check
them,
on.
oh, I'm sorry, you can't use that credit card because it doesn't match your billing address.
Well,
which is
so again,
frustrating because it could be work,
should work.
credit card.
If the problem with the card is that it failed the AVS check, it will still work. And
Right,
within
but only
that
for
3-month
3
window,
months.
it'll even, so the 3 months is when it stops working with auto pay. Granted,
Right.
manually charging them is not, conducive to when everybody else is automatically charged. You don't want to have one person or a handful of people you need to go charge manually. However, my understanding is that this check is actually related to a federal law, but I want to confirm that and see if there is any option to disable it or whatever. I don't believe that's the case anymore, though.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. I
Kathy,
can just
this
see
is
where
this is a PCI compliance thing, so it's not something that we would just like love to put in our system and annoy everybody. This is having to
Right.
do with laws and
Right.
banks and stuff, so we had no choice but to do this. So